Hello and welcome to the next tutorial. Here we're going to be looking at the external style sheet. The idea of an external style sheet that if you have several pages in your website and you want all these pages to share certain properties, you can write them in an external sheet and then you can share that external sheet between all your pages. So that's a great thing to actually be working with when you have shared entities. So in order to do that, the first thing that you got to do is you got to create an external file other than your current HTML page and save it as a cascading style sheet page. So let me click File and let me click Save. Let me click New. And then here, as a new file opens up, I'm going to save it as, so File, Save As. And this is where I will going to, from save as type, instead of HTML that I did the first time, I will now going to choose from this list cascading style sheet. So as you can see, here is cascading style sheet called .css. Now I'm going to be naming this one. I'm going to call this one home.css. That's the name of my cascading style sheet, and I click Save. The cascading style sheet is a style sheet. It's not an HTML document, so it does not have any HTML tag. All you do is you just simply list the tag names along with the properties, which we call in CSS style rules. So here in the home.html, in the tutorial before this one, I wrote a couple of rules. I made all my paragraphs bold. Let me uncomment this. And then I changed the heading to font style italic, color red. So those are a couple of things that I did. Now, let me come back here to home.css. Now let me add a property over here for my div tag, which is this down below, the copyright tag. So I want my div tag to take a property of color red, and I want it to have a font style italic, and I want it to have a font weight of bold. Okay, so at this point now, simply just I wrote this div with set of properties. In my HTML page, this is where my div is. However, when I refresh my page, you won't be able to see any difference in the output for copyright line. The reason is because the two pages are not linked yet. They can't see each other. So now let me come up here in the head portion and let me link the two. This is a link tag with an href property. I'm just shortening things here at this point. Home.css. Now there are a couple of properties that I'm going to be introducing in a different tutorial that I've already made available to you in Blackboard. So this is just so that you can get to see rel. So it's a property rel with the value style sheet, and it has an href, which is the location of where the CSS file is to be found for this page. And now as we refresh this page, let me bring it to you after I refresh it, and here you can see the copyright 2020 is in bold and is also in italics. So, and it also has a color red. So those were the three properties we wanted to give to div. Now if we add another property here to the div, we say, okay, I want my div to be center aligned. I can very well do that, and as I refresh my page, here it's center aligned. So as you can see in this output here, that I have my home page is center aligned, my Saad Yusuf is red color. Now some of the properties for home page are inline, some properties for home page and Saad Yusuf are shared, and they are in embedded, and here I have an external. So let's say if I have another page, let me go to home.html and let me save it as about.html. So let's see if I have a page called about.html. And real quick, let me make some changes here so that you can see the difference. This is an about page, Saad Yusuf. I'm going to keep everything else the same as it's before, okay, with this minimum set of changes. Okay, so now let me run this about.html page. So this was my home.html page. Now let me do this about.html page, and if you notice, the same set of properties carry over. okay, because both pages look exactly the same. But the good thing here is that, okay, if I want anything to take effect for both of my pages, about as well as home, I can simply go to home.css and I can make changes here. And whatever changes I make, for example, if I say I want it to be right aligned, okay, so I want it to be right aligned. So if I come to my about page and now I refresh my about page, it will going to change my about page. You can see the copyright is now right aligned. If I go back to my home page, you will notice even on the home page it's right aligned. So I can very easily control these properties for my entire site from one place. So for about page it's right aligned, for home page it's right aligned. So that's how you use your embedded if you want to control the properties on a page, external for site, and inline for one particular tag. So in the coming weeks, I'm going to introduce to you more properties of these tags, so of the CSS, and you can get to see how you can work with CSS and make your final project for this course look even more prettier. Okay, well, catch you in another tutorial. Have fun. And don't forget to watch these videos, and maybe you want to try it yourself during the week. Thank you.